Have you ever wondered what would happen if your kidneys started failing right now and you didn't even know it? The truth is shocking. You could lose up to 90% of your kidney function before you feel a single symptom. By the time you notice fatigue, swelling in your ankles, or restless nights, the damage may already be dangerously advanced. Unlike your heart, which races when it's in trouble, or your lungs, which cough when they're irritated, your kidneys stay silent, quietly breaking down in the background. I'm Dr. Johnny, and I want you to pause and think about this for a moment. Every single day in America, tens of thousands of people are told they have kidney disease, and most of them had no idea it was coming. They thought they were eating healthy, following advice from doctors, magazines, and health blogs. More vegetables, more plant-based foods, more so-called superfoods. On the surface, it all looked perfect. But here's the terrifying truth: some of those very choices may have pushed their kidneys closer to failure instead of protecting them. And that's where we need to shift perspective. Not all vegetables are automatically safe. Some of the most common and celebrated foods you've probably eaten this week can overload your kidneys with potassium and oxalates, creating a silent storm inside your body. The tragedy is people believe they're doing the right thing, while in reality they're quietly placing themselves in danger. But here's the good news. Knowledge is power. Once you understand which vegetables sabotage your kidneys and which ones protect and heal them, you can make small, simple changes that could literally save your life. So stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the vegetables that silently attack your kidneys and the safe healing foods you should choose instead. This may be the most important health decision you make this year. Let's start with one of the biggest surprises, because on the surface, it looks so harmless. Tomatoes. Now, before you panic, fresh raw tomatoes in small amounts are usually fine, even for people with kidney concerns. But the danger comes the moment we take those tomatoes and concentrate them into sauces, paste, ketchup, or juice. What looks like a vegetable becomes a potassium bomb. Take a look at the numbers. Just 1 cup of unsalted tomato sauce can pack nearly 1,000 milligrams of potassium. That's almost half of the daily safe limit for someone with reduced kidney function. Imagine this: you sit down to a big plate of pasta topped with a sauce made from an entire can of tomato paste. In one single meal, you could double or even triple what your kidneys can safely handle. And here's the scariest part: potassium overload, known as hyperkalemia, often gives no warning signs until it's too late. Robert, a 59-year-old retiree, learned this the hard way. He thought he was making the healthier choice, avoiding junk food and cooking his own pasta sauce every Sunday. But he didn't realize each serving of his sauce was giving him more than 1,500 milligrams of potassium. His aging kidneys couldn't clear it fast enough, and his blood levels spiked to dangerous numbers. Fatigue, muscle weakness, and irregular heartbeats followed. Once his doctor explained the risk, Robert made one simple change. He cut down to just 2 tablespoons of sauce per meal and boosted flavor with garlic and herbs instead. Within weeks, his potassium levels stabilized. So here's the lesson. It's not the tomato itself that's the enemy. It's the way we concentrate and consume it. A little fresh tomato is fine, but processed forms can silently overload your kidneys and put your heart rhythm at risk. But only knowing this isn't enough, because the next food, a childhood favorite found on almost every dinner table, can deliver even more potassium than tomato sauce, and the danger is hiding in plain sight. Stay with me, because potatoes are next, and their story is even more shocking. And if tomato sauce can silently overload your kidneys, potatoes take it one step further. This is where comfort food becomes a hidden danger. Think about it. Mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving, baked potatoes at family dinners, or crispy fries on the side of a burger. They feel harmless, familiar, even nourishing. But when it comes to kidney health, they can pack a dangerous punch. Here's why. A single medium baked potato can contain up to 1,000 milligrams of potassium. Sweet potatoes are even worse. Just 1 cup of mashed sweet potato can deliver around 1,200 milligrams. For someone with healthy kidneys, that's manageable. But for aging kidneys that already struggle to filter excess potassium, those numbers can push the body straight into hyperkalemia, the silent condition that destabilizes your heartbeat without warning. Linda, a 64-year-old grandmother, learned this during a holiday meal. She filled her plate with mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, and roasted red potatoes, believing she was eating a vegetable-rich dinner. Within hours, her potassium levels spiked so high, She ended up in the hospital with heart rhythm problems. Doctors warned her that her kidneys couldn't handle that overload again. After recovery, she learned about a method called leaching cutting potatoes into small pieces, soaking them for several hours, then boiling them in fresh water. This process can remove up to 70% of the potassium, making potatoes safer in small amounts. Now Linda measures her portions, carefully limiting herself to just a quarter cup, and she's been stable ever since. So the takeaway is simple. Potatoes aren't completely off the table, but portion control and preparation are critical. Comfort food can still be part of your life, but only when handled with respect for your kidneys' limits. But knowing this is just one piece of the puzzle, because the next so-called superfood is praised everywhere for boosting stamina and circulation, yet it carries a double danger for your kidneys. And once you hear about it, you'll never look at beet juice the same way again. If potatoes can push your potassium levels into the danger zone, then beets can attack your kidneys from two directions at once. On the outside, they've been celebrated as a miracle food. Wellness blogs rave about beet smoothies, athletes drink beet shots for endurance, and health gurus swear by beet juice for lowering blood pressure. But the truth is, what looks like a superfood can turn into a silent kidney saboteur. Here's why. Beets are loaded with potassium. A single glass of beet juice can carry between 450 to 600 milligrams. Concentrated powders or performance shots can deliver even more. For kidneys already under stress, that potassium builds up quickly, silently pushing blood levels higher and setting the stage for hyperkalemia. But that's only half the problem. The bigger threat comes from oxalates, natural compounds in beets that bind with calcium and form sharp crystals. Those crystals can lodge in kidney tissue, create stones, and in severe cases block the delicate filtration system altogether. David, a 48-year-old fitness enthusiast, discovered this in the most painful way. Inspired by articles promising better stamina, he began drinking a large glass of beet juice every morning. Within 3 weeks, he was hospitalized with severe kidney pain and abnormal labs. Doctors found oxalate crystals in his urine, proof that the beets were damaging his kidneys faster than they could heal. It took him 6 months to recover, and he was warned never to touch beet juice again. So here's the bottom line. Beets may look powerful on a wellness poster, but in reality, their double load of potassium and oxalates makes them a dangerous gamble for your kidneys. You don't need beet juice to boost your circulation. There are safer, kidney-friendly ways. But only knowing this isn't enough, because the next vegetable looks cheerful and sweet, often baked into pies and jams. Yet it hides one of the most toxic oxalate loads of them all. And once you hear about rhubarb, you'll understand why experts tell kidney patients to avoid it entirely. If beets can quietly load your kidneys with potassium and oxalates, rhubarb is even more ruthless. On the outside, it looks cheerful and harmless, bright red stalks, often baked into pies, jams, or crisps. But beneath that sweet image lies one of the most kidney-toxic vegetables you can put on your plate. Here's the science. Just 1 cup of diced rhubarb can contain over 1,000 milligrams of oxalates. That's more than 20 times what a kidney patient should safely consume in an entire day. Once inside the body, those oxalates don't just disappear. They bind with calcium and form razor-sharp crystals that scratch kidney tissue, clog filtration pathways, and trigger sudden painful drops in kidney function. What makes it even worse is that in jams and sauces, the oxalates become even more concentrated. So one generous slice of rhubarb pie or even a spoonful of jam can overload the kidneys in minutes. Sarah, a 56-year-old teacher, found this out in the scariest way. Over one weekend, she attended 3 family gatherings. At each one, she enjoyed a serving of rhubarb crisp, believing she was eating a seasonal treat. By Monday, she was in the hospital with severe pain and dangerously low kidney function. Tests revealed oxalate crystals had blocked her kidneys so badly that she required temporary dialysis. Months of recovery followed before her kidneys stabilized, and for Sarah, rhubarb was permanently off the menu. So here's the truth. Rhubarb isn't just risky, it's a red flag food for anyone with kidney concerns. If protecting your kidneys is the goal, rhubarb should be avoided completely. But even if you think avoiding one food is simple, the next leafy green is far trickier. It hides its danger in plain sight because it's often praised in wellness blogs as a healthy plant-based choice. Yet Swiss chard silently overloads the kidneys from 2 directions at once, And that double hit is what makes it so dangerous. If rhubarb is a red flag food for the kidneys, Swiss chard is the silent double agent. At first glance, it looks like the picture of health deep green leaves, colorful stems a staple in plant-based recipes and wellness blogs. People saute it, juice it, and toss it into salads thinking they're doing their bodies a favor. But for your kidneys, Swiss chard delivers a double overload that can quietly push them toward crisis. The numbers tell the story. 1 cup of cooked Swiss chard can contain nearly 1,000 milligrams of potassium, almost as much as a baked potato. On top of that, the same serving can hold more than 1,200 milligrams of oxalates. That's a dangerous combination. The potassium pushes blood levels upward, increasing the risk of hyperkalemia and sudden heart rhythm problems. Meanwhile, the oxalates bind with calcium to form sharp crystals, raising the risk of kidney stones or even clogging the filtration system entirely. And while boiling can lower some of the oxalates, it barely reduces the potassium, leaving both risks in play. Michael, a 62-year-old man who proudly switched to a plant-based diet, ate Swiss chard almost every day. He believed he was protecting his health-swapping meat for greens and smoothies. But after 2 months, his lab tests showed dangerously high potassium levels, and not long after he passed his first kidney stone. The very food he thought was saving him was silently attacking him from 2 directions at once. That's why Swiss chard is so deceptive. It looks like a safe natural choice, but for weakened kidneys, it's a dangerous overload waiting to happen. But even this isn't the final blow. Because the next vegetable has been glorified as a global superfood, blended into smoothies and praised as the ultimate health booster. Yet when it comes to kidneys, spinach might just be the most dangerous of them all. If Swiss chard is a silent double agent, then spinach is the superstar that betrays you. It's marketed everywhere as the ultimate health food, low in calories, high in vitamins, and praised by diet gurus and wellness influencers. You see it in green smoothies, baby food salads, and even protein shakes. But what almost no one tells you is that spinach can quietly become the most dangerous vegetable for your kidneys. The reason isn't its vitamins, it's the oxalates. Spinach is loaded with them. Just 100 grams of raw spinach carries nearly 970 milligrams of oxalates, which is almost 20 times what someone with kidney concerns should safely consume in an entire day. And here's the real danger. People rarely eat just 1 cup. In a smoothie, you might throw in 3 or 4 cups without thinking. That means more than 2,000 milligrams of oxalates in a single glass, enough to overwhelm even healthy kidneys. Jennifer, a 34-year-old yoga instructor, learned this the hard way. She thought she was doing everything right every morning. For 6 weeks. She blended 2 cups of raw spinach into her smoothie. At first, she felt great, but slowly fatigue, nausea, and back pain crept in. When she finally saw a doctor, the tests were alarming. Her kidneys were clogged with oxalate crystals, and her kidney function had dropped to dangerously low levels. She needed emergency treatment and months of recovery before her kidneys began to stabilize. This is why spinach, the so-called superfood, is one of the worst offenders for kidney health. In small amounts, cooked and balanced, it may not be harmful. But raw spinach smoothies and juices are a direct path to kidney injury. So don't be fooled by the hype. Sometimes the foods that look healthiest on Instagram are the very ones tearing your body down from the inside. But before you start thinking every vegetable is an enemy, let's shift gears, because not all plants are harmful. In fact, some vegetables can act like shields for your kidneys, providing comfort, flavor, and real protection. And the first one may look humble, but it's quietly one of your body's strongest allies: cauliflower. After hearing about so many foods that can sabotage your kidneys, let's take a breath. Not every vegetable is an enemy. In fact, some are powerful allies protecting your kidneys day after day. And one of the most underestimated heroes is sitting quietly in almost every grocery store: cauliflower. Now, cauliflower doesn't grab attention like spinach or kale. It looks pale, simple, almost boring. But when it comes to kidney health, that plain white head is a lifesaver. Why? Because it's naturally low in potassium, phosphorus, sodium, and oxalates, the very compounds that overload and stress aging kidneys. 1 cup of cooked cauliflower contains only about 88 milligrams of potassium, 20 milligrams of phosphorus, and just 9 milligrams of sodium. Compare that to potatoes or Swiss chard, and you'll see why cauliflower is such a safe choice. And here's where it gets even better. Cauliflower can step in as a replacement for risky comfort foods. Instead of mashed potatoes, try mashed cauliflower. The texture is creamy and satisfying, but without the potassium overload. Add a little roasted garlic olive oil or a spoonful of low-sodium cream cheese, and you've got a dish that feels indulgent yet kidney-friendly. This simple swap can lower strain on your kidneys without forcing you to give up the comfort of a warm, hearty side dish. Beyond safety, cauliflower has hidden strengths. As a member of the cruciferous vegetable family, it contains natural anti-inflammatory compounds. And since chronic inflammation is one of the biggest drivers of kidney damage, foods like cauliflower don't just avoid harm, they actively help your body heal and slow disease progression. Affordable, versatile, and widely available cauliflower proves you don't need exotic powders or detox kits to protect your health. So the next time you're at the store, don't overlook this quiet hero. A simple vegetable can be the foundation of a safer diet and a healthier future. But cauliflower is only the beginning. Because if one pale vegetable can protect your kidneys, imagine what happens when you add a splash of color. Up next, the bright sweet red bell pepper, a vegetable that fights inflammation and supports both your kidneys and your heart at the same time. If cauliflower is the quiet hero, then red bell peppers are the colorful bodyguards. They don't just make your plate brighter, they make your kidneys safer. Unlike many vegetables that carry heavy loads of potassium or oxalates, red bell peppers are naturally gentle. 1 cup of chopped red pepper has only about 250 milligrams of potassium, 30 milligrams of phosphorus, and just 4 milligrams of sodium. For someone with kidney concerns, that balance is a gift. But low potassium is just the start. Red bell peppers are packed with antioxidants, vitamin C, beta-carotene, flavonoids, even lycopene. These compounds fight oxidative stress, which is like microscopic rust that inflames and damages tissues over time. Kidneys under strain are especially vulnerable to that type of damage, and antioxidants help put out the fire before it spreads. That means red peppers don't just avoid harm, they actively protect your kidneys while also supporting your heart and circulation. And that's critical because kidney disease and heart disease often go hand in hand. The best part, red bell peppers are versatile and delicious. You can slice them raw into salads, roast them for a smoky flavor, or even stuff them with grains and herbs for a complete dish. Their natural sweetness means you don't need heavy sauces or added sugar to make them taste good. They're proof that healthy food doesn't have to be bland. It can be colorful, flavorful, and kidney-friendly all at once. So if you're building a plate that protects your kidneys, think of red bell peppers as your splash of color and your line of defense. And while color is important, sometimes the strongest medicine doesn't come from bright vegetables at all. Sometimes it comes from a little clove with a powerful bite. Up next is garlic, a centuries-old healer that modern science has proven can calm inflammation, lower blood pressure, and keep your kidneys working longer. Color isn't the only shield your kidneys need. Sometimes the strongest defense comes from something small, sharp, and ancient. Garlic has been treasured for thousands of years, not just as seasoning, but as natural medicine. And when it comes to protecting your kidneys, garlic is one of the simplest, safest, and most powerful foods you can add to your plate. Here's why it matters. Garlic is naturally low in potassium, phosphorus, and sodium, which means it won't overload weakened kidneys. But what makes garlic truly special are its organosulfur compounds, especially allicin. When garlic is chopped or crushed, allicin is released, and that's where the healing power begins. Allicin acts like a natural anti-inflammatory and antioxidant, calming the inflammation that accelerates kidney damage and neutralizing the free radicals that scar delicate kidney tissue. There's more. Garlic also helps with one of the biggest drivers of kidney disease, high blood pressure. Studies have shown garlic can lower blood pressure, naturally easing the strain on both the heart and the kidneys. Patricia, a 60-year-old woman with stage 3 kidney disease, is a perfect example. Her doctor asked her to cut back on salt, which felt impossible until she started using garlic instead. Every day she crushed 2 cloves, let them rest for 10 minutes to activate the allicin, and added them to her meals. In just 3 months, her blood pressure dropped from 150/95 to 135/85, and her inflammation markers improved. Her doctor was impressed, but more importantly, Patricia felt lighter, more energized, and in control again. Garlic proves that healing doesn't always come from expensive supplements or miracle powders. Sometimes it's as simple as a clove on your cutting board. But garlic isn't the final piece of the puzzle, because the next vegetable doesn't just fight inflammation, it helps your body turn on its own defense system, teaching your kidneys how to protect themselves from the inside out. That quiet powerhouse is cabbage. Garlic shows us that small foods can have big impact. But sometimes protection doesn't come from attack, it comes from resilience. And that's where cabbage stands out. At first glance, it looks ordinary, cheap, and almost too simple to matter. But cabbage is one of the most powerful kidney-friendly vegetables you can eat because it doesn't just reduce harm, it teaches your body to defend itself. Here's what makes it special. Like cauliflower, cabbage is naturally low in potassium, phosphorus, sodium, and oxalates. That makes it safe for stressed kidneys. But it also contains sulforaphane, a compound that flips on something called the NRF2 pathway in your body. Think of NRF2 as a master switch for your cells. It activates your own antioxidant defenses, repair enzymes, and detoxifying systems. Instead of only relying on outside help, your body starts fighting back from within. For kidneys that are constantly under fire from inflammation and oxidative stress, this kind of internal shield can slow damage and preserve function longer. And the best part, cabbage is accessible. You don't need exotic powders or expensive superfoods. You can find it in any grocery store, slice it into coleslaw, steam it lightly, or saute it with garlic and olive oil. Simple, affordable, and protective. That's why experts often recommend it as a staple for people with kidney concerns. It's safe, reliable, and proven. So if you want a vegetable that strengthens your kidneys from the inside out, cabbage is your answer. It may not look glamorous, but it does the job better than most trendy foods. But before you rush to stock your fridge, there's one more truth you need to hear, because one of the biggest lies in health is the idea of detox. And when it comes to kidneys, the detox industry isn't just misleading, it can actually make things worse. Let's clear that up next. Before you start filling your fridge with the safer vegetables we've just talked about, there's something important we need to clear up. It's one of the biggest lies in the health industry. The idea that you need a detox tea, a juice cleanse, or some magic powder to flush out your kidneys. You've seen the ads: cleanse your body in 7 days, reset your organs, flush toxins overnight. It sounds appealing, especially if you've been worried about your kidneys. But the truth is, your kidneys are already the detox system. They filter nearly 50 gallons of blood every single day, balancing fluids and removing waste without needing gimmicks. So why do people fall for detox products? Because the promise feels simple and the marketing is powerful. But in reality, many of these cleanses do more harm than good. Some detox teas contain harsh herbs that dehydrate you, putting even more pressure on the kidneys. Some juices are loaded with potassium or oxalates, the very compounds we've been warning about. And the quick drop in weight people celebrate, that's usually just fluid loss, not healing. For someone with weak kidneys, losing that fluid too fast can actually make the problem worse. The real way to support your kidneys isn't through a fancy detox, it's by giving them less to struggle with. That means reducing the foods that overload them, like concentrated tomato products, potatoes, beets, rhubarb, Swiss chard, and spinach. It means replacing them with safe healing options like cauliflower, red bell peppers, garlic, and cabbage. And it means drinking water consistently throughout the day, not in extreme amounts, but steady sips that gently help your kidneys do what they're already designed to do. So forget the detox gimmicks. Protecting your kidneys doesn't come from mystery teas or expensive juices. It comes from small, steady choices made in your own kitchen. And that brings us to the final story, one that shows exactly how powerful those choices can be. Because Margaret, a 67-year-old woman, thought she was doing everything right, until the very food she trusted almost destroyed her kidneys. So what does all of this mean for you? It means your kidneys are not doomed. Even if you've made mistakes in the past, even if you've been eating foods that seem healthy, but were silently causing harm, you can change the direction of your health starting today. Small swaps, steady habits, and awareness make a bigger difference than any detox or magic cure ever could. And that's why I want you to do something simple right now. Save this video so you can come back to it whenever you need a reminder, and subscribe to the channel. Because every week I'll be sharing the latest kidney health insights and practical tips you can use to protect your body. Your future self will thank you for building this library of knowledge one video at a time. Remember, healing doesn't require perfection. It requires consistency, awareness, and a little bit of courage. Your kidneys may be silent, but your choices speak loudly. And with every smart choice you make, you give your body a chance to recover, rebuild, and thrive. So take this knowledge, protect your kidneys, and carry hope into tomorrow, because your healthiest years may still be ahead of you.